So, hello everyone. We will start with what is Databricks SQL. So, if you have a Databricks premium account, so as we have a premium account, here you can see you got a SQL window here where you can get a tab like SQL editor, you get a queries and dashboards, and you get a SQL warehouse. So this is a new UI again. If you switch to the old UI, so let me just show you. If you switch to the old UI, here we used to change three different workloads now. So first is data engineering workload, machine learning workload, and SQL workload. So this is available only in the premium account. You don't find this in your standard or your community edition. So this is the old UI, but I request you, let us switch to the new UI only. You can see what they have done beautifully. So they have clubbed up all the important tabs at the top so that all people from the various workloads, also various department, also can use this workspaces workflows. And they have made only one compute now. In one compute you can see all purpose compute is there, job compute is also there, and SQL warehouse is also there. So we are talking about SQL warehouse. But before that, let me just introduce what is exactly the Databricks SQL. So Databricks SQL is a complete end-to-end solution for your data warehouse. So it's a serverless data warehouse. So who is going to manage all this? Your Azure Databricks behind the scene going to manage everything for you. So you don't need to take care of your resources. You don't need to take care of your clusters and all those things. Just you need to start it, and then you can just start querying it. So you can perform the SQL queries on top of it, and you can use a visualization, and even you can create a dashboards also by using this Databricks warehouse or a SQL warehouse. So it is a serverless. So if you talk about the cluster, it is like our compute, all purpose compute that we have started this cluster. We have seen like how was like how many worker nodes we need, how many driver node, like what is the type of the driver node, how many worker nodes do we need, what is the type of that, and do we need an auto scaling or not, and terminate. We have done entire setup for this cluster. But when it comes to the warehouse, that is when it comes to a SQL warehouse, that is when you want to get a feel of complete data warehouse, yes, Databricks has that feature also called as a Databricks SQL, where you can do your entire thing without looking worrying about the cluster and all those things, because it is a serverless. Directly you can start your SQL warehouse and start querying it, and you can see it can seamlessly integrate with other third party tools also, like Power BI for visualization, Tableau, Fivetran, dbt, or any other third party tool. And you can see the top level architecture now. So we have seen our data lake. On top of that, we have built our lake house or a delta lake, and then these can be accessed directly from any of the workload. So we have been into data engineering, we have been to like data streaming. Now we will look into our data warehousing. So you can see, and you can do all real-time analysis also by building a dashboard. Even you can build a visuals and dashboards in your Databricks SQL. So, and if you look at the performance wise and the price wise, it is almost like you will save up to the cost as compared to other. It is 12 times better price than the better price per performance, and it is a unified governance model. So now let us go back to our compute. You can find it your SQL warehouse here also, or you can just click to the SQL warehouse. It will take you to the same tab. So now let me start your SQL warehouse. So let me just click on the SQL warehouse, and you can give a name. So let me give a name like getting started. Okay, getting started. Now it will ask you to get a cluster size. So now you don't need to worry about, hey, what is the type of that cluster, how many cores do we need, how many GB of data we need, resources, anything, because you don't need to do all that, because your SQL warehouse is a serverless. Your Databricks and your Azure will take care of that. You don't need to worry about all that. Just you need to use a cluster size. These size are like your t-shirt size. You can see small, medium, large, and double XL, 3x, 4x, and so on. So now for our practice, let us keep it as 2x small, which is having 4 dbu per hour. So you can easily go to pricing on Azure Databricks and you can find like how much per DBU is costing you. So according to that, you can get a pricing also for this cluster size, how much you will pay. So now you have an auto stop. So it's just like if you are not doing anything on that SQL warehouse, your SQL warehouse, actually it was called as a SQL endpoints. Now it is called as a SQL warehouse. That should be like terminated after, let me keep it as 20 minutes. Let me keep it as 20 minutes. If you are not doing anything, automatically it will stop it for 20 minutes. And now when it comes to the SQL warehouse, you can do the scaling in two ways, horizontally and vertically also. Like if you want, you can increase your cluster size from 2x to x, or you can get the scaling option also. Like, okay, for each cluster, like minimum you are getting 4 dbu. You can go if you have an heavy workloads, or if you have an complex queries where it is taking a long time, you can use a scaling option also. Now you can make it minimum 2 to maximum 2. So you will have a cluster size of 2x small, but you, if the workload is more, you may get one cluster or two clusters, which is having 4 to 8 dbu. But if you want the size to be more, you can switch it to x large, where you will be getting minimum 6 dbu to 12 dbu. You can see this. So you can scale up in two ways here, by cluster also and by scaling also. But now let me keep it minimum 1 to maximum 1 for our practice. Now let me proceed further. Type, let me keep it as a pro. So but the old SQL warehouse is having a classic, but now let us keep it pro. But now when I start creating, I'm getting an error here, you can see, because we are using an Azure Databricks. When you are saying an Azure Databricks, it is a PaaS, that is platform as a service, where if you want to create a SQL warehouse, it will say that you need to have enough quotas in your Azure account. But now we had only 10 CPUs available, but we need at least 16. So when you click on create, it will throw you an error. But how to increase it? Here you got a link here, you can see that increase your cloud vendor quotas. So you can just right click and open a new tab. That will take you to the CPU quotas documentation, where you can easily increase the size of your standard family CPUs. So how to do that? You can click on start, you get an error, you click on that link, it will directly take you to the Azure quotas page. But I request you, you can come to your Databricks account, where you can just search for quotas. Let me do that. Let me click on these quotas and then go to your compute here. You can see compute. And if you look at, yeah, yeah, if you can see here standard DSV2, and if you look at the family CPUs, there are 10. But to start this SQL warehouse, minimum you need 16. So you have to increase that. So let me do that. Yeah, so now I just selected it. Now I need 16, but I'll make it 20, guys. I'll make it 20 so that there will be some allowance for me. Yeah, so we can see here I've just edited it to increase the quotas. So I had 10 now. Now it has been increased to 20. So I kept it some allowance. Now I don't think so we'll get any error here. So let me come here, and now everything looks fine. Let me click on create. So once you click on create, so you're now it will ask you for the manage permissions. So I have a group of people here. So yeah. So once you click on create, you will get a manage permissions, like whom do you want to give the permission to use a SQL warehouse. So I can give it to all users, like all users, those who are in this workspace, they can all use it. They can use it or they can manage it. So let me give a permission to use it, and let me click on add. So that will take care of giving the all users like can use permission. Okay, so let me cancel out. Now it is getting started. Now let us come and wait. Yeah, so we have one SQL warehouse already created. Let me delete this. Yeah, so now we have only one SQL warehouse that is getting started. Let us see what happens now. Yeah, still I'm getting an error. You can see here, just click on this and you click on view details. Yeah, once you click on view details, you will get an error again. Now it is showing me something else like standard EDS v4 family course quotas are minimum. So you can click on this link directly. It will take you to the same Azure portal. That is one point. It will ask you for the sign in. You can just click on your email address. Yeah, so this is how the error you will be getting. You can directly increase it from the link, or you can go to the steps what I have told you. Just go to your quotas and you can increase from there also. Yeah, so I think we need to increase few more CPUs for other like other type. You can see standard EDSV4. Yeah, you can see it was only 10 now. So the now new limit is 16. So you get this window, you just need to click on submit and then your quotas will be increased. You will get a message also. Let us wait for a second. Yeah, you can see you got a message here that is successful. So now the new limit for the vCPUs are 16. So now it is done. Let me go back to my SQL warehouse and let me go back and just stop it and then restart it again. So let me start it again. Now within few seconds, I am very sure that your SQL warehouse will start now. Yeah, guys, now you can see my SQL warehouse has started. You can see this green tick. So almost like it took 10-15 minutes to start. It got 2-3 errors again. So it asked me to increase the quotas again. So I increased it my all types of quotas what I was getting an error. So I increased it. So this is how you can start your SQL warehouse in your Azure Databricks. So I'll just take 1 minute to explain you. So I have got a AWS Databricks account also. You can see this is your this is my AWS Databricks account where it is all software as a service. So if you come and start your all-purpose cluster also, and if you come and start your SQL warehouse also, you will not get any error because behind the scene AWS will take care of managing all your quotas for you. So you don't need to do that. So maybe I'll show you that later on, but yes, you don't need to manage anything on your AWS side. But when it comes to Azure side, you have to go and manage your quotas and CPUs and all those things. So that's why we call it as an Azure as a platform as a service and your AWS Databricks as a software as a service. I hope you got a clear understanding on that, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Keep learning.